Stomach and spleen work together in the Asian medical model to take in and digest nourishment in all its forms. And the word nourishment signifies what we have to find or be given to survive. Our need for it is not quite the same as the rock-bottom basic need for air that the lung shows us. And as we all know, nourishment is not only food. But for now, let's use food as a metaphor for all our hungers and all our appetites. We're looking now at the classical stomach meridian of acupuncture. One of the innovations of Shiatsu Masunaga, who was the father of the Zen Shiatsu style, one of his innovations was to point out how the pathway of each meridian and its place on the body reflect the essential nature of its function. Stomach and spleen are both on the front of the body, and both of them are to do with moving towards what we want or need and enfolding it, bringing it into our possession. So let's follow this process through the metaphorical movement or expression for the stomach meridian. And Masunaga named this expression gathering food at hand. So we begin with the eyes, noticing, identifying what we want or need. And then the legs move us forward towards it. And the legs position us also so that our arms can reach it. The arms and the shoulders are Zen Shiatsu extensions. They don't come into the classical meridian, but they're vital in the actions of reaching and taking in this expression. In the case of food, the mouth takes it in and passes it into the tubes of the digestive system. We've got it, and now it's ready for processing. This function we associate with the stomach can take place on all levels. We can be hungry for love, for status, for information, for novelty, and so on. And in all of these needs, and in more complex needs, the tension or the emptiness of the need can sometimes be felt, may be felt, in the stomach meridian. And if the need is not met, then the condition can become chronic. Let's go through the stomach meridian bit by bit. It begins under the eye, directly under the pupil, and travels down past the mouth to the jaw and along the jawline. And the classical meridian has a branch that ascends from here to the corner of the forehead. But in the Zen Shiatsu system, this part of the pathway has been borrowed by the spleen. Now the meridian follows the digestive tract down through the throat, and at this point it moves outwards to run down the chest through the nipple and the nipple line. And here the emphasis shifts from nourishing ourselves to nourishing others. And this is the area where in females the process of nutrition leads on into feeding a child. And indeed this is an indication in the meridian of the deep relationship between nourishment and the whole complex of the female hormonal cycles. The cycles that lead from menstruation to fertility and childbearing and then to breastfeeding. The part of the meridian that runs down the abdomen isn't emphasized in the Zen Shiatsu system because the abdomen or hara is used for diagnosing, and in some styles it's used for treating in the Japanese massage technique known as zanpuku, which we demonstrate in the spleen disc. And this covers all the meridians, including the stomach and the spleen. But where we'd pick up again on the classical meridian is the horizontal part of it between the pubic bone and the outer part of the top of the thigh. And that's where the support for the torso, it's transferred from the core of the torso to the legs. And this part of the meridian influences the stability of the lower back and the pelvic region, as well as the front and the hip. Now the meridian goes down the leg, down the outside of the rectus femoris, which is the middle muscle of the quads, and it goes down the outer edge of the kneecap to the bulgy muscle of the shin. And all of these are muscles that lift the leg and foot and move them forward to get us to the food. And then it moves down to the second toe. The only Zen Shiatsu extensions that aren't in the classical meridian are the ones that go around to the back of the neck and across the top of the shoulder and down the back of the arm, and then down the edge of the extensor muscles in the forearm to the fourth finger. The Sahara diagnostic area for the stomach is right over the actual stomach organ on the upper left quadrant of the abdomen. And on the back, the diagnostic area is more or less opposite that, a curved shape around the lower border of the left shoulder blade. And that's an area where a physical stomach problem sometimes causes referred pain. And let me remind you here that it's not a great idea to try to diagnose without a teacher. It's best just to familiarize yourself with the diagnostic areas. And I do describe them in the rest of the DVD again and give tips on how to find them. And the U points for the stomach, those back points that allow deep access to the whole of the meridian and organ complex of the stomach, are on the back, 2 fingers width from the midline, below the 12th thoracic vertebrae. And we do show you in detail how to find these as well. So let's go.